Early voting setting records in our state. The State Board of Elections says more than 1 million people have already cast ballots in person or by absentee. Thousands more are expected to participate in early voting as we have one more week ahead. Now, you may have some questions about voting and the whole process. So what we're going to do is we're going to ask the guy who knows about it. That's the Guilford County Board of Elections Director, Charlie Collicutt. And so let's give you the number of the text for you to call in, 336-379-5775. This is the number that you will text your question in so that we can answer your question live on air. Okay, so first and foremost, let's just talk about this, Charlie, for people who want to participate in early voting. And we've been hearing some stories. I waited an hour in line. I waited an hour and a half in line. There is a way for people to look at the estimated wait times.
That's right. We do have on our website a neat map that's somewhat interactive that will show you the wait times of the early voting sites in Guilford County. Because, if you look at it, we've got some places that do have some big waits, but we've got some other places around here that don't have wait times at all. And so it's great for the voters to see and figure out where they may want to go.
Yeah, that red circle on the map, that's the one you don't want to go to because that's the one that has the longest wait time. I can see the different colored circles on the map. The lighter the green, the less time that you're going to wait in line. You said, just because you know an early voting place doesn't mean that's the place you should go to.
Right. We've been using some of these places for years, and a lot of people just go back and back to the same places. They're familiar rec centers or places, but we've got a lot of additional sites. We've got 28. So check this or check our website, look at some of these other resources because, for a lot of these places, you could go wait in an hour or an hour and a half line. But if you were to drive just maybe 5 minutes away, you might have zero line or a 10-minute line at most. So there's a lot out there for the voters.
Okay, and early voting, it is on and it goes on for quite some time. Absentee voting, it is going on right now. Let's take a look at some deadlines and some dates for both of those. Go ahead, Charlie, if you want to talk about that.
All right. So early voting ends on Saturday, November 2nd at 3 o'clock. Anybody in line gets to vote then. The absentee by mail deadline to request is going to be October 29th. So if you want to request, do it by then. I advise you to get that done quickly. Those absentee ballots have to be in by Tuesday, November 5th. That's election night at 7:30 in our office.
That's right. And that is a big change because it used to be you could mail in your absentee ballot on the day as long as it was postmarked on election day. That is no longer.
That's right. There used to be a grace period. There is no longer that. It has to be in our office by 7:30 on that Tuesday night. Whether you got it here by mail or you walked it in, it has to be here by then.
All right. And what about people who have absentee ballots? Maybe they don't want to wait until November 5th, but they do want to give it to someone. They do that at early voting polling places.
Right. You can take your absentee ballot. If you don't want to mail it, you can take it to our office, our Greensboro or High Point office, or an early voting site, not one of the precincts on election day. It's got to be done during early voting or down to our office.
Okay, so the only option is going to the Board of Elections office in your county to hand it over on election day. You cannot bring it to the polling site.
That's right.
Okay, I want to make sure everybody knows that. And it's $1.77 if you want to mail your ballot. For some reason, some folks were like, oh, I thought it was free, but it's not. Let's talk about what you need to bring to the polls when you come and vote. And what I'm specifically talking about is a photo ID.
Right. All voters now in North Carolina have to show photo ID when they vote. A lot of folks will have their driver's license, but it could be a passport, military ID, some student IDs. There's a lot, and they need to be unless you're over 65, it cannot be expired for more than a year. So those are important, and these websites have great information of all the different types of ID that can be used.
Okay, and then let's not miss this fact because this fact is a big deal. And the fact is that if you need to register to vote in this election, there's only one way to do that.
That's right. If you have not registered yet, you're not out of luck yet. You need to go to an early voting site and do what's called a same-day registration. This is only at one of those 28 early voting sites, only in early voting, which ends on Saturday, November 2nd. You will need to have a document like a utility bill or government document, bank statement, something with your address on it to do that same day registration and vote.
Okay. We wanted to get all of those pieces and parts out of the way. We have your questions coming up. This one right here, this person says, this year people are being told to not draw outside the bubble. If it goes over the bubble a little bit, will my vote still count?
If it goes outside of the bubble a little bit, you're going to be just fine. We want to stay inside. We want to get it nice and dark. But you're going to run into trouble if you're bubbling to the point where it goes into the other circles or into the candidates' names or into some of the other places on the ballot. But if you're pretty close, you're going to be okay.
Okay. This next question is, I have a hard time filling in the bubble because my hand shakes some. Can I bring a different kind of pen that makes it easier for me to do that?
Yeah, if you have a pen that's dark, preferably a black pen, that is going to help you mark that ballot better, you can certainly do that.
I guess I'm trying to think of like a felt pen or a Sharpie pen kind of thing. Is that a possibility?
Yeah, but we need to be careful. We don't a Sharpie might bleed through too much, but a nice felt pen would be good. Nothing like a highlighter or anything like that.
Okay. And then this next question is there curbside voting at these early voting sites?
Yeah, all early voting sites and election day polling places will have curbside voting, and it's not drive-through voting, but curbside is for people that cannot enter the polling place. They can vote curbside.
Okay, someone physically comes out to them, gives them the ballot, and that kind of thing.
That's right. Yeah, the whole transaction can take place at your car. It's not necessarily the fastest way to vote. But it is a great way to vote for people that can't get inside the polling place. It's a lot of the poll worker has to walk back and forth and the ballot and info. So, but it's a good process for people that need it.
Okay, folks are getting their questions answered. So what's your question? 336-379-5775. You can text it to us. We'll be back in just a minute.